quickly start. So these are some typical stages. I won't be focusing much on these because this is just good to have knowledge, but I want you to focus more on the practical bit of it. So scoping intake as to what information we are taking either from the client or whatever work you're doing. The first initial stage is your intake stage. The second is your drafting, wherein actually you're sitting and drafting the documents. Secondly, thirdly, review and revision. So once it is done, another very important side note, never go ahead with the first draft of an AI generated response. Can you tell me why? What's the problem? Consider it as an intern who is in the first year making something for a very senior lawyer. Do you think the senior lawyer will take that content as it is and present it to the court without verifying it? Even though it's a law student, but it's a first year law student. And I want you to just give me one reasoning in one line quickly. Vaishali says no. I want people other than Vaishali and Kunal to answer. Okay, we have Meet and Jatin. Great. Even the AI is already giving that AI may make mistakes. Yes, Meet. So even actually, yeah. So right now, even when I'm training AI and I use Gemini to sort of like cross check the responses. I have noticed it's very prominent now that Gemini can make mistakes, so make sure that you are re-verifying the work. So that's something which they also tell you. Jatin says because AI generated draft is just only a template. Arpita says no. So the reason is, even though I always give a very parallel example that your artificial intelligence, any chatbot, whether it is Chat GPT, Gemini, everything is like an intern. So you wouldn't actually, even when you become a lawyer, you wouldn't it might be an excellent intern. So there are some people who are really excellent. I know some of my friends who are really excellent with legal research in the first year itself. At the same time, nobody in their right mind who is a practicing lawyer would take that information without verifying and appear before the court. So similarly, even your AI drafts, they require review and revisions. Use it. I'm not saying don't use it. Like I am teaching other subjects also wherein we say that try not using AI. Reason being that what is happening these days is our intuition is getting hampered a bit because of directly appearing like not just your practice but your academics as well. So if you must have noticed, especially in moot court competitions, I remember when I was participating, like say 5 years ago, not even 5 years, let's say three to 4 years ago, when we used to have a moot problem and when we would participate in a competition, all of us, at least most of us, would have some sort of very different take on it. Can you tell me the reason why it was very different back then? And currently I just judged a moot court competition, I think 15 days back for my own college. And there we noticed one pattern. Everybody had the sub issues very same. Like, there were hardly one or two teams who had it in some other order. Everybody else, maybe the research was some or the other, better, or there was no, it was not same that way. But the main bit of it, as to the main argument, they were very similar. Can you tell me the reason for this? Yes, Vaishali, that's AI hallucination, basically, what I already told you about. That in legal drafting, they cite cases which do not exist. That's AI hallucination, and it's a big problem. Okay, my question was have you noticed people doing very similar sort of work as opposed to earlier, maybe when you were in your first year, or maybe when you were in your junior college for that matter? Okay, Jatin says most of the people don't know how to command. Yes, so that's basically prompt engineering. The way it's basically like, communication skills. So if you don't know what to ask, you won't get a good response out of it any which ways. Come on, quickly. Yes, no. Have you noticed that very similar sort of work being generated? And can you tell me? It's very obvious. The reason is quickly in the chat box. What is the reason of having very similar sort of work even in your competitions or any other competition for that matter, not just moot courts? Use of AI bots. Exactly. Because everybody, no matter which AI platform you're using, there's a set sort of content which is available in public domain. And if you know how AI works, it's going to scrape content in general and it's going to create a response. So which is why it's possible that everybody is going to have a very similar set of arguments. So it's very like, it is taking away that intuition, which is your first basic research thing. After which I won't say don't use AI. I would say do that much work yourself, that rough template, which is your own brain working. And uske baad, whatever you want to elaborate, however you want to refine it, that's where you can actually use AI to make it much better. And you can, leave out all those admin related work in terms of language and spellings, errors, everything. So, which does not require your legal expertise. That is something you can leave out for AI. Everything in relation to templates. Then finalization, of course. And lastly, negotiation support is something wherein you can. So I'll show you how I have used it to basically, develop oral arguments, because it was a consumer protection case, and I was because you know how long these cases work. I haven't been up to date, and right now it was at that stage wherein we have application for legal hairs, and then the final oral arguments is going to be just after that. So I tried using it. I tried using Gemini. I tried uploading everything in relation to my case, and it gave me a good response. However, there were some red flags which I will share with you as we proceed. So firstly, let's talk about the contract drafting workflow as to what is AutoNovel. So where exactly AI fits. So firstly, generate standard clauses quickly. So for example, a confidentiality clause in terms of the generic content as to what confidentiality clause exactly tells you. However, the information which is what is private information, what exactly is confidential information, what happens if that information becomes publicly available? Would you still count it as confidential information? All of this information AI won't have. You would have it. Why? Because you are the one who has been communicating with the client, which is why all of those details as to what exactly is private information, what would come within the ambit, because depending on the case, let's say today I and Vaishali get into a contract and we are talking about something in relation to edtech platforms. So what would confidential information be over here is going to be very different as opposed to a contract between, say, Jatin and Meet, which is in terms of, say, buying goods or selling goods. So the confidential information would differ, which is why all of that particular information, which would make this contract bulletproof or very safe in terms of preventing any potential disputes, that information is to be fed by you or to be put or inserted by you. Second stage is flag missing or unusual provisions. So this is where your review works. So I usually use it at this particular stage. I avoid using it at stage 1, because once you are done with your first draft and you actually let the AI chatbot play devil's advocate, it gives you much better responses. So I always make it a point that once I'm also once I finalize the entire thing, I also ask it to think from the other side and tell me what all points can they actually bring forth. Then after that, once it gives me all of these points that, the other side may bring out this, then I ask it again. Now you counter it. So that would basically give you a more comprehensive version of your arguments as opposed to just making it think from one perspective itself. Then create summaries, format documents, verify internal consistency. So maybe some place you used a legal provision which is outdated, or maybe you are saying something in the initial part which is contradictory. All of those things would be much better identifiable by AI chatbots. Why? Because they work on algorithms, unlike us who would basically go and go with everything, go through everything manually. So which is why this is an advantage which we should basically use them for, because they would be able to do it very quickly. They would be able to identify the patterns, and if something is not falling within that pattern, they would basically flag it. So that is your stage 3.